Hi everybody, it's Corrie Sommers. Thank you so much for tuning in to Financial Fridays. Today, Denise Berry from Elite Financial is going to be discussing annuities. You're not going to want to miss this, so stay tuned.
Hi guys, I'm here with Corrie Sommers and she invited me to talk on her show about real estate to financial freedom. So the first topic we're going to be covering today is actually on securing retirement income. So I don't know if you guys know this fun fact, but there's about 10,000 baby boomers a day retiring. That's a lot of people, right? So what we want to do is we want to protect them from the downturn that most likely will happen again. It's cyclical. Right now we're in a bull market. The bull attacks, he swipes up like this with his horns, and then we're going into a bear market. Bear attacks with the hand that goes down. And so essentially what we want to do with the people that are going into retirement is right now most of their money is invested in the variable market. And we went over this before, but essentially what that means is it means that the market has high risk, right? Meaning that you get great reward, but at the same time you have to recover from loss. So we want to protect people that are going into retirement because these people don't have the time to recover from loss. So if you're in retirement or about to go into retirement, you have to think about rolling your money to a place where you can't lose even $1 in retirement. So how's that possible? So just one way today that we can go over this is essentially you can roll over your IRA, your 401k, anything that's in the variable market, and you can roll it for no cost into an annuity, anything that's essentially an indexed product. Let's talk about the annuity for a second though. So the annuity, an indexed annuity, just like insurance, which we're going to go over as well, they're going to give you a cap in the market and the floor is going to be essentially 0 or 1%. So that means while your friends are losing 30%, 40%, heaven forbid, right? You're actually sitting pretty at not losing even $1. That sounds like a suitable investment for somebody in retirement, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but if you've talked to anyone in retirement that lost their money in 2008, or even not even in retirement and lost their money in 2008, they still haven't recovered from that loss. That's pretty scary stuff, right? So how does an annuity work? It's a lot like any other investment. You put your money in, it's being invested somewhere else, obviously, but they're gonna give you that cap and that floor. And what they do now is they actually will front load, depending on the company, a bonus, a cash bonus into the front of rolling it over, which is pretty sweet. But also they do something called a lifetime income rider, which essentially guarantees that you're not going to run out of money. It's like your own private pension. So though a lot of people have a lot of things against annuities, I understand why. There's fees inside of every instrument you're going to get. There's fees inside of annuities as well. But the difference is there's going to be the lifetime income rider. It's also going to have that nice cap and a floor. So there's security inside of it, right? So that's just a little bit about one option to choose for something in retirement to secure your income or someone you know. All right, thank you guys so much. This is Denise Berry. Thank you so much, Corrie, for having me.
Thank you again for watching today. Hopefully today was very valuable to you. You've learned some new information. If you want more depth though about this topic of annuities, if it's time to consider it, if you're not sure if this is the right thing for you, we can schedule a free financial consultation. So all of our contact information is below. Be sure to reach out. And of course, put your comments below. If you've not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would love it if you did. And be sure to click that bell for updates and the like button. Thanks so much for joining me. See you guys next time.